Before we go on, I want to invite you to my Patreon. If you're serious or even just curious about meeting a Slavic or Eastern European woman, that's where I share exclusive advice. Some tiers even include one-on-one chats or personalized guidance about relationships directly from me. The link's in the description. Now, let's talk about why chasing her isn't working. When a woman walks away from something real, she doesn't always realize what she's giving up right away. Sometimes she leaves thinking she will find something better or that you will come chasing after her. And then when you don't and she's left alone with her own thoughts, reality hits. That's when regret starts creeping in. But here is the thing. Most women won't just say, I regret losing you. They will show it in quiet ways, in little behaviors, in the way they act, the things they post, or how they suddenly reappear after weeks of silence. And today we're going to talk about those subtle but very real signs. Because if she regrets letting you go, you will see it not in big dramatic gestures, but in the little shifts that says she's thinking about you more than she would like to admit. This is Matryoshka Tips. I'm Anastasia, and if you're a man who's ever been ghosted, dumped, or walked away from, you're wondering if she's ever looked back and thought, well, maybe I made a mistake. This is for you. One of the first signs is her trying to casually reconnect. Not with a deep apology or anything obvious, but a subtle text out of nowhere. Something that doesn't even make sense, like, hey, do you know the name of the coffee place we used to go to? Or, I just saw a movie that reminded me of you. You know, these little reach outs are never really about the coffee or the movie. She's just checking your temperature. She wants to know if you're still warm towards her, you know, if you will reply, if you will open the door just a crack. And let's be honest, when a woman doesn't care, she won't reach out at all. So if she's just doing this, even if it's small, there is something unresolved for her, definitely. Well, another quiet sign is when she starts showing up in a digital world. Maybe she watches all your Instagram stories suddenly or likes a random old post. Maybe you catch her name in your story views again and again and she's not saying anything directly, but she's there. That's not a coincidence, guys. That's her way of saying, I'm still watching, even if she won't say why. And in many cases, it's her ego fighting with her emotions. She misses you but doesn't want to be the first to say it, so she lingers in your online space, hoping you will notice and maybe even make a move. Well, a third sign, she talks about you indirectly, maybe through mutual friends, maybe in things she, shares in her social networks, like cryptic quotes about letting go too soon, or realizing, when it's already gone, something like that. Well, a third sign, she talks about you indirectly, maybe through mutual friends, maybe in things she posts, like cryptic quotes about letting go too soon or realizing what you had when it's gone. Women know how to communicate through indirect channels. We're experts at it, honestly. If you hear from a friend that she was asking about you, or if your posts suddenly take a sad, nostalgic tone, don't brush it off. She's trying to express something she can't say out loud. Maybe it's pride, maybe it's fear, but underneath all of it is this little whisper, I miss what we had. You might also notice she starts improving herself. And I don't mean just putting on some lipstick, I mean real visible changes. Maybe she's back at the gym, maybe she's working on her career, maybe she's glowing up hard. Now, self-improvement is always a good thing. But sometimes after a breakup, it's driven by that I'll show you what you lost energy. She wants to become the version of herself you once believed in and maybe even better. Part of that is for her, but part of it, that's for you to see. Especially if she's making sure you see it by showing up online more or posting more photos than she used to. Well, she's not doing that for strangers, Now, here is a really important one. She starts revisiting memories. She brings up things from the past. Maybe she tags you in an old memory. Maybe she posts a throwback photo. Maybe she casually brings up a song that was yours. These are emotional breadcrumbs. Women attach deeply to shared experiences, especially ones that made us feel safe, loved, or seen. When she starts revisiting those moments, it's not random, guys. It means she's been thinking, reflecting, wondering what went wrong, and maybe if it's too late to get it back. But here is what's interesting. When a woman regrets losing you, she often won't say it with words. She will say it with presence. She will start hanging around places you go. She might show up where she knows you will be, not to talk, but just to see if you're still there. She might even start dating someone new, but suddenly make sure you find out about it. Not to move on, but to test your reaction. Does it make you jealous? Do you still care? She's looking for signs that the door is still open, that if she came back, you wouldn't reject her. There is also Also, behavioral shift, that's very telling. If she was cold before, short replies, uninterested, suddenly becomes warm, engaging, almost flirty again, that's a major signal. Women don't just flip that switch unless something internal has shifted. If she goes from whatever energy to suddenly acting like she's emotionally available again, she's not just being nice, she's testing the waters. So if you've been through this before, you already know that sometimes the best revenge is not proving her own. It's living so well that she has to admit she lost something rare. You. Your attention, your presence, your care, these aren't things every guy gives. And if she had that and walked away, it's okay to let her feel the weight of that decision. And listen, I know how hard it can be when you miss her too, when you feel the pull to reach out. But if she's showing these signs, the quiet texts, the sudden appearances, the glow up, the nostalgic posts, it's not your job to go fix it. You already showed up when it mattered. If she regrets losing you, let her show you that she has grown enough to handle the truth. That's what real maturity looks like in both people. This is Anastasia from Matryoshka Tips channel. Thank you and see you in the next one.